Spoiler alert, 15 minutes from now, you're going to know the final score of every remaining NFL Week 4 game, plus best player props, survivor picks. Big note of this week, 3 games through this NFL season, home teams 22 and 26. Be mindful of this as you make your picks for Week 4. We have 6 featured games to get to. We'll see if we have time to go for an extra point. Even 2, every other score scrolling as we kibitz here. Player props, lots to do. Quick look in the rearview mirror, though. Last week, I was 11-4. That puts me 8 games over on the season. Hench, 8-7 a week ago. He's 2 over on the season. Spaghetti gets off the embarrassing schneid after a 1-win Week 2. He's 8-7 this week. Okay, 8 under for the season. And Brady Lemieux, our ruggedly handsome pal, who's the aggregate of our predictions, is 9-6 last week, 26-18-1 on the season. But now to Week 4 we go, and we're starting off with a dandy, fellas. Move over Dan Marino and Jim Kelly. It's Tua v. Josh. Big one for Buffalo. They don't want to go to 0-2 in the division. How did these 2 teams wind up in the same division, by the way? Miami, Florida, and Buffalo, New York. Is there a bigger difference between 2 cities in the same sports division? We don't have time for that debate right now. I do want to throw in this scary note for the NFL to look out on the horizon. The Dolphins are doing what they're doing without Jalen Ramsey. Egad, better get this one, Bills. Buffalo in this one is laying 2.5. Total is 54. I have it 34-33, Tua and company. Believe your eyes. The role they are on is for real. The Bills are going to get theirs. The problem is the Dolphins are going to get one more than they are. I will throw in a player prop. I like Tua and Allen to both throw at least 2 touchdowns. That pays off at plus 171. Hench, how say you?
Well, this is a wild stat. So the Dolphins coming off a 50-point victory, and yet over the last 2 weeks, the Bills have outscored their opponents by more than the Dolphins. So the Bills have blown out their last 2 opponents by 62, and the Dolphins have only blown out their opponents by 57 over the last 2 weeks. And yet I'm in your garage on this one. I think this Mostert A-chain monster 2-headed. I don't know. What do you do? Pick your poison against these Dolphins. Remember, Dolphins went in with Skylar Thompson. They're not intimidated in that facility. I like the Dolphins 31-27. I'm in your garage.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm going to go 38-34 Miami Dolphins here. I mean, how many times this season are we going to say, oh, the Dolphins are going to be playing in the game of the week? Like a 70-point game versus the Broncos. Obviously, remember that Chargers game was fantastic. I think this one's going to be a classic too, but I'm glad I finally saw the light thanks to the Rodgers injury. Dolphins are the cream of the crop in the AFC East, and Hench has got it right. Raheem Mostert, that's where my player prop is at. Mostert to score is plus 108 on Caesars. He has a rushing touchdown in each game. He has 7 total touchdowns on the season on the grounds, and he had 4 last week. This guy won't be stopped. The Miami rushing offense has been fantastic, just as good as Tua. So easy victory there for the Dolphins, and I think Mostert's definitely going to score.
Brady Lemieux says Dolphins by 3 and bet the over. Next up, it's the red, white, and blue bowl. Patriots v. America's team. Both teams red in the face after last week. Don't know which was worse. Mac Jones banging Sauce Gardner in the junk, or Dak Prescott and company losing to the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals. Let's call that a tie. And looking ahead, this one is the Zeke Elliott revenge game. The Cowboys at home laying 6.5. Total on this one is 43. I say the Cowboys win it 20-17. That means the Patriots cover, though. Hench, how say you?
Oh man, we're this garage is being shared over and over again. I have the exact same feeling. Cowboys win but don't cover. Cowboys 23, Patriots 17. Interesting collection of stats from the first 3 weeks. The Dolphins have averaged 10.2 and 8.2 yards per play against other teams, 6.4 yards per play against the Patriots. The Jets averaged 5.5 yards per play against the Bills, a 4.7 against the Cowboys, and 2.8 against the Patriots. Eagles, same story, 6.1, 5.7, down to 4.1 against the Patriots. That Patriots defense is for real. That number's too big. I like the Patriots to lose nobly and cover, and that Cowboys offense just isn't very good.
Good stuff. Spaghetti, how say you?
I'm going to go like Dallas, kind of a comeback to form win here. I have them winning 27-17. I think while the Cardinals are probably not as bad as we thought they're going to be, statistics show otherwise, but I think this is a game they want to get right and show everyone like we are good. It was just a 1 week flare up. So I'm going to go a player prop here. CeeDee Lamb has not scored a touchdown yet, but I am going to go alternate receiving yards over 75. That's plus 107 on Caesars. He's averaging 14 yards per catch. He had 143 yards versus the Jets. He had 77 versus the Giants. I think he's definitely going to get over 75 versus New England. He is their path to victory to get right. So I like Lamb having a big game, potentially scoring a touchdown, but Dallas wins 27-17.
Brady Lemieux brings it on home. Cowboys by 6, but they do not cover. I do agree, though, with Hench that at the end of this game, Cowboys fans are still going to be wringing their hands, even though they get a W here, and it's because of the knuckleball called the 2023 New England Patriots. That defense is not jive. Moving on, Modell Bowl, Ravens returning to the scene of their crime. They took Cleveland's football team and moved them to Baltimore. Imagine the indignity of that. Your town is so bad, I'd rather live in Baltimore. That's what Art Modell said. Anywho, Browns D has allowed just 1 touchdown over 3 weeks. In this one, the Brownies at home are laying 3, total 40.5. I'm taking the Browns. I buy that defense, if not Deshaun Watson. 21-16. I say Amari Cooper, who has delivered despite being a little banged up here, goes over 60 yards. In this one, Lamar Jackson throws at least 1 pick. Hench, how say you?
The Browns are confounding. They lose their starting right tackle opening week for the season. They lose Chubb against the Steelers, and yet they've got 64 first downs on the season and have allowed 21 first downs. That defense is no jive, as you say. That said, I don't believe in Deshaun enough to cover. I think it's a nail biter. I like the Browns 24-23, and man, the Ravens sure didn't look like they were going to win the close ones last week. They did a lot of things to figure out how to lose to the lowly Colts last week. So Browns win a squeaker, take the points.
I'll save the I told you so about the Ravens until after they pay a visit to Pittsburgh in week 5. Meantime, Spaghetti, what's your pick here?
I'm going 24-20 Browns here. Early in the season, I predicted the Browns to finish second in the AFC North. I thought the Bengals will still be the best team. It's now looking like the Browns may be the best team. Deshaun Watson had a pretty good game last week. He's kind of coming into form here. That Todd Monken offense in Baltimore is not really working whatsoever. But what is working there is Zay Flowers. And Zay Flowers, I believe, has 25 targets in 3 games. He's the one driving force of that offense. The running game, a lot of injuries there. So I think the number's not out there yet on Caesars, but when it does, take the over on Zay Flowers' receptions. He's had some monster games there, 21 receptions in 3 games. So he'll hit the over. He's their path to victory. But I am going to go 24-20 Cleveland Browns.
Brady Lemieux is with us on the Browns. A little bit more than a 3-point victory for the home team there. All right, now down to the Lone Star State once again. C.J. Stroud playing well there. And in the bum AFC South, is it crazy to think that they could win it? 9-1 for the Texans winning the South. If that strikes your fancy, go get it now. And you want to get it before they play the Steelers, because if they beat them, those odds will get a lot shorter. Steelers favored for the first time this season. The Texans, like I say, are laying 3 at home. Total on this one is 42.5. I have the Steelers winning it 25-20. Don't assume, though, that the Steelers, because they have a heavy pass rush against a bum O-line, means that C.J. Stroud won't get off. I do expect him to throw a couple of touchdown passes against that Steelers defense. Still, Pittsburgh survives this one. Hench, how say you?
Well, just like we all thought during our fantasy football drafts, Nico Collins and Tank Dell, both top 12 in the league in receiving yards. It's crazy. I like the Texans to win this one outright, 22-20 over the Steelers. The Steelers, they have those 2 game records, Watt and Highsmith coming off the edge. But, man, the fact that Raiders game came down to the wire was nuts, right? That is a not good team. I thought the Steelers played pretty well, and you're like, why is this a 1-score game at the end? So I don't think the Steelers are ready to be giving points on the road. I like the Texans.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, this one, I have the Steelers winning 20-18, but I have Houston covering here. It's kind of like what Hench was saying a few weeks back. It's like the Steelers just find a way to like stay in games where they shouldn't be. It's always going to be close, but I do think they'll win this one just because of the inexperience on the Texans side. However, it looks like they struck gold by getting CJ Stroud. I know people were kind of criticizing them for not getting the number 1 overall pick, but getting Stroud and then having Will Anderson as well, like 2 home runs, fantastic job by them. So I'm going to give a Stroud prop bet out here. Over 240 and a half passing yards here. That's minus 117 on Caesars. He has almost 1,000 passing yards through 3 games. Steelers gave up 324 to Jimmy G last week. So if they are chasing the score, just the game script, I think he'll be throwing the ball a lot. They have a lot of good young weapons, and I CJ Stroud just looks so good. Not turning the ball over either. So easy prop there, but Steelers win, Houston covers.
Yeah, the bully ball nature of Mike Tomlin's team here will travel, I suspect, but I do think that the Texans have the ability to keep this one close. And so does Brady Lemieux. He has it the Steelers winning, but the Texans covering. Right now, it's all the rage, halftime shows. Here is the 15-minute -3 halftime show. All right, it wasn't the Super Bowl. It's just a dumb halftime show. Lighten up, everybody. Okay, on to the Loser Bowl. Ooh, maybe we can book her for the Loser Bowl halftime. The 2 worst teams, I say it every year, should play each other in between the championship games and the Super Bowl to determine who gets the first overall pick in the following year. It's looking like Denver and Chicago may well be those 2 teams. In this one, the Bears plus 3.5, even playing the Broncos, who just gave up 70 last week. That's embarrassing. The total on this one is 46. I have it the Broncos winning 6-2. Hench, how say you?
Which is more embarrassing, being a 3.5 point home underdog to a team that just lost by 50, or the fact that we both like the Broncos? I'm in your garage. Not 6-2. I think they put up 28 on the Bears. I got 28-20 Broncos.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos as well. Actually, kind of big here, 33-17. I just, this Bears like roster, there's just so many issues going on. Like we had Brad Spielberger on the other day and saying how there's no design runs for Fields. You have DJ Moore getting caught on hot mic saying stuff like the running game is not there. I just don't love it. Fields has no field awareness, and then you have Russell Wilson, who's not playing terribly. He's not the Russell Wilson of old. So I do like Russ, a player prop over 232.5 passing yards here. It's minus 115 on Caesars. He's went over the 300-yard mark twice. The Bears defense has given up close to 1,000 passing yards in the air. So I think this is going to be bad time for the Bears. I do see a quarterback change and potentially a coaching firing coming very soon.
Brady Lemieux is with us. The Broncos stink less than the Bears do, and by 9 points plus. New Jersey we go, where Taylor Swift will be in the house. This will be one day after the Giants and Seahawks filled the same stadium. KC and the Jets getting it on. The home team plus 9.5. Suspiciously low number, isn't it? Shouldn't it be like 15 or 20? Total 42.5. I say the Chiefs devastate, and I don't care if it's Zach Wilson or Trevor Siemian or who else they throw under center. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to take care of business. Hench, how say you?
All right. I as much I love to lose money betting against the Chiefs, and please ignore this pick. But the Chiefs are not going to win every road game by a lot. Somehow I feel like the Jets defense keeps this close enough that the Chiefs win 27-19. The other thing, I know it sounds insane. The Jets figured something out at the end of that Patriots game, which is Zach Wilson has to throw on 1st down and 2nd and 1. He cannot throw when he has to throw. You have to invert it. You on rushing downs, let him throw. You can't let that guy drop back in passing situations. I'm not ready to write this entire Jets season off yet. 27-19 Chiefs.
I mean, did Taylor Swift dump you or something? I can't believe you would take the Jets in this spot here. Spaghetti, how say you?
Plus 9.5 at home.
Okay.
On scholarship players.
Listen, Zach Wilson is not an NFL quarterback. I'm not even sure if he's a backup NFL quarterback. It's just abysmal. It's a slap in the face to Jets fans for them bringing in Trevor Siemian here as a kind of band-aid to this team. I see Kansas City winning 30-13 over the Jets. And Zach Wilson, here's my bold prediction. Take the under half a touchdown, -166. Take the under 175.5 passing yards at -121. Because take both, whatever you want to pick one. I don't care. He's going to get benched in this game. Like the Jets, hearing the locker room is like deteriorating and getting angry, and everyone just like they know how good this roster is. Sans Wilson, it's gonna explode soon. And Sally just can't keep saying the whole thing of like we trust in Zach. You don't trust in Zach. He stinks. Take those props. KC wins huge.
By the way, once the Vikings beat Carolina, which I think they will, the Vikings have less incentive to move Cousins. But why would the Jets want Kirk Cousins? Why would they give up anything if they fall to 1-3 or 1-4 or something like that? Their season is over. I assume they'll wave the white flag on that. All right, we'll talk to you before week 5, everybody. We appreciate you downloading and subscribing on YouTube and listening to us. I'm -3. I hope your team wins unless they're playing my team. It's been a thin slice of heaven.